Really?
If you have only that.
And we're online, everybody. So Naoko, we are finished with that conversation. Or you can continue that conversation while we're online. Either way, I would like to not do that.
Not only would I not like to continue, I didn't want to start.
Yeah. Hi, everybody. How is your life going so far? Mine, it's pretty good. We've had a pretty busy last week. A lot of things have happened in that last week, and including the ice racing ice driving that we did, and we went skiing, Mike and I. It was pretty sweet. We got some footage for that, and then you can see that footage if you want. It's not going to come out for a little bit. We got Mike 2 working on one video that comes up for the ice racing video, and then the ice racing video is probably going to be 2 videos together. Though most likely they'll be released one day right after another, but we'll see. And so we'll start doing this live stream question and answers for you guys. I do it for you guys. We got Mike here. Say what's up, Mike.
I'm here.
Mike, you are wearing a jacket in the office.
Yes.
Are you cold?
Not really. This jacket just adjusts to the temperature, so I can just wear it permanently.
Really?
It's comfy too.
You didn't wear that jacket when we went out ice racing.
Gave it a rest. It's not waterproof either. Wait, what did I wear?
Maybe you did wear that.
Yeah, I definitely did. Yeah, I did. I didn't give it a rest.
Oh, I have a canker sore in my mouth right now, and it's very painful for me to talk sometimes, and then it gets better for a while, and then it gets painful again. So right now it's in one of the painful moments, and I hate canker sores, and I got 2 of them, and I always feel like it's my fault when I get a canker sore. It's like I didn't eat healthy enough food, or I got too stressed out, and so that's what I feel is going on. I did look up the causes of a canker sore, and it says stress or lack of nutrition. It could possibly be it. And it's funny because that's what I always thought was the case. And then the internet, you can trust everything on the internet, and I trusted it. So there you go. So what are we going to do, Mike?
Should we put up a car so people can see the
Yes.
background?
I just crushed my finger with the chair. And I was going to not say anything and just be a man about it, but I can't help myself.
269 J.U. Shizuoka.
So everybody in the chat, feel free to send in your questions. Mike's going to write down the questions, and I'll ask whichever ones I'll answer whichever ones Mike likes. It's the Mazda Carol.
Yeah. Sorry, I should have told you. Yeah. Oh, I like how you knew which one it was, though.
You said J.U. Shizuoka, right?
Oh, yeah.
This also has a double version of it, double agent version, called the Suzuki Twin. I think the Suzuki Twin is Mazda Carol. I think so. When we went to racing in the Turbo Vits, we saw one of these on the racetrack.
Oh.
Yeah, all race carred out.
Sweet.
It was really cool. And it wasn't that fast, because, only 660cc engine.
Yeah.
But it still looked really cool. Racing seat in it, roll cage, big tires. Kind of funny for this type of car.
Oh, I like this.
And I didn't get to finish saying what I was going to say, so feel free to ask your questions. Mike will write those down and then ask me. And then if you want to take a look at cars, like right here. It's so hard to do when you're stupid. This one, or or this one. Then go to our website. It says right down here, auction.pacificcoastjdm.com, and then you can pick the cars, and then we'll talk about them, and we'll possibly translate the sheets if we really feel like it. This is pretty crazy. 5,000 kilometers on this one. The car is importable to the USA. It's 25 years old, but only 5,000 kilometers. So what were they doing with this car? Oh, it's so cute. I want to buy it. And then just
nobody touch it.
That's it. Yeah. I don't want to drive it. I just want to have it. So yeah. Melody. Milady? Okay, it's not Melody, it's Milady. Got a car for Milady.
Master Carol for Milady.
That's No, that's not for you, Mike. Yeah, that's someone in Japan.
So, I'm not
Okay, auction grade 3.5, interior B, exterior B. It's a one-owner car, of course it is. Nobody would buy a 5,000 kilometer car and then not drive it.
okay.
Windshield rock chip, interior dirty and wear. Front cross member, underside section is dented. Underside surface rust and has been painted. Various, aftermarket windows, extra gauges in there, like racing car style. Really?
We don't usually handle heavy
These
machinery, no.
ones? These ones? I don't
No, it's not
know.
something we really
They have a
set
question
up
mark
to
after it,
very
like
well.
extra
Like,
gauges,
larger trucks,
but it kind of looks like
things
that's
that,
original.
But machinery, yeah.
And then very scratches and dents. Body is pretty much perfect. Man, I have no idea how much this is going to sell for because it's very well. It's not a very common car to begin with, and then with the low mileage makes it maybe the only one in Japan that's like this.
Cool.
But it's not a car that people are like, man, gotta get myself a Mazda Carol. Need one of those in my life, and I'm gonna, you know, I couldn't see somebody paying more than about 600,000 for this. I don't know. What do you think, Mike?
Nice car. I like how the
Mr.
fog lights in the
Unhelpful.
middle.
You pick up the phone. Hi, I would like to not help you today.
Well, he's like a heavy machinery, and I was like, oh.
Yeah, there are a lot of exporters that specialize in heavy machinery, and I would prefer people buy from people who have experience with that.
Yeah.
We could probably make money doing it, but I really don't want to. I'd rather spend my time selling cars than construction equipment.
Yeah.
To the detriment of my son. He would love that. Daddy, can I play in the excavator?
Yeah.
Sure, son. Knock yourself out.
I'm gonna put you in the front of it.
Yeah, in the bucket.
Yeah, the bucket. That's what I was looking for. Yeah, I like it. I don't know much about it, but
Will Mike fit inside? I don't see why not. It looks bigger than a K truck in there for the front seat. You get lots of knee room, and it's a 5-speed manual. This is actually really cool. I would really like to try. I hope one of our customers buys it, and then we can look at it. And I wouldn't want it myself.
just like the owner does now, they bought it and looked at it.
It would be weird. Like, the car doesn't really gain an awful lot of value by being only 5,000 kilometers compared to a car that people actually really like. It's not like this is like an Altezza with 5,000 kilometers or GTR or a Silvia. Those could be 3 to 4 times more expensive because of the low mileage. Yeah, whenever we get big vehicles, like big trucks or something, we don't put them into our lot because our lot's just too small for them. We'll send those directly to the port and then go shoot the report down there. Bill Courtney's asking to bring somebody on camera, but I don't know who. It says bring her on camera. There's only one female in the office at the moment. And you guys on the live stream, you get to miss our other female who comes in on Thursday and Friday. Sorry guys, if you want to see females, you're gonna have to go somewhere else. Look, we went from 34 people watching to 29.
They're like, what? No females? Screw this.
I'm not down with the sausage party. Alright, give me something new to look at. Actually, I'm gonna go get a water.
I can get it for you. I'll give you a card.
Nah, I got my water here.
Okay. Oh, right.
It's not full though.
I can fill that for you.
Can you fill it for me,
Yeah.
Mike?
Mirive 60070. Super cool.
I'm hoping if I rinse my mouth, the canker sore will get better. I've had it for like a week and a half, and it hasn't even gotten a little bit better. Not cool. Let's see if I can fit all of these in here somehow. There we go. Oh, I just ruined it. Wow, looks like a lot of damage here. But it looks cool. It's kind of like, are these classic racing colors for Datsun? I don't know. It kind of gives me that feeling, but I wouldn't have been old enough for those sort of classic racing colors to be in my mind. Maybe something from the 70s. The car looks like it's a 70s car, but this one's a 1990. So yeah, a Nissan Sunny. This one's a long bed. You get the extra 10 centimeters of space in the back. If you want a long bed, then look for the 122 version here instead of the 110. So it comes with a 1.2 liter. The engine in these is very reliable, even though this picture looks like it's leaking oil. I don't know if leaking oil actually is a problem with these, but a lot of the cars of this era tend to like to leak oil. But the engine's reliable, and it can carry a good amount, and it's rear-wheel drive. There's no power steering, which is a little bit bad, and they're very tiny inside. This person put aftermarket seats in, and they may have done that to give a little bit more room for the driver. You haven't sat... Thank you, Mike. You haven't sat in a Sunny yet, have you?
No.
I don't think that you would fit in one.
Huh. No, I like them though. Good for carrying around a bike too.
I like how they kept the styling the same. And actually, for this generation, you should have had square headlights, but you get the round ones because everyone thinks the round ones look cooler. And it's true, I think the round ones look very much more 70s. But I do like square lights on a Mark 1 Golf, because you very rarely ever see that. Oh, the Golf pickup truck. Here's a question for you, Mike. Sunny pickup truck or the Rabbit pickup truck?
Sunny. Is that?
This is the Rabbit one. It's based off of like a Mark 1 Golf, like this. I wonder which one's more expensive. I have a feeling like once you imported one, I think the Sunny would come out cheaper than the Rabbit.
I like this. I like the Sunny, but I like the Mark 1 hatchback Golf more than both. Maybe, I don't know. Yeah,
Really?
I think so. I like the hatchback.
I would definitely go for a truck if I had the means for one. I think the truck is quite a bit more expensive than the regular one.
That looks cool. I like the missile livery on the side.
That is cool. Man, these cars just look so good. No matter how you modify it, they always look good. It would be inconvenient to drive one that is this low, but it would still look really cool. You know, a lot of people will see a low car and they'll think, wow, that guy's an idiot. He lowered his car too much. But you know what people should be thinking? When they see a car that's too low, wow, that guy must be very patient. So, right?
Yeah, true. He must like inconvenience.
Right? Yeah. He can deal with a lot before that's too much for him. Because whether it's scraping or not being able to go places or having to go the long way around. Yeah. I'm going to lower my car and then hope that people don't think I'm an idiot and instead... Actually, it's funny we should mention that because we are going to lower our BB too much.
I guess we'll test our patience.
Yeah, so I think I mentioned in the last stream that that we bought new wheels and tires for the BB because we had a flat, and then instead of getting a new tire, I'm like, I want new wheels. And I didn't measure them, and that seems like it may be a bit of a problem because they're really small. They are much smaller than the original one. Like, in terms of diameter, I think we're losing like 2 inches, and so it's pretty crazy. And I got the wheels sitting right over there. Should I show them?
Yeah.
Do you want to bring one?
Yeah.
And then we're gonna put them on and see if the car looks really stupid.
Is there also a reveal, or have I already given that away?
Reveal. There it is.
Ooh.
Ooh. Do you like the Price is Right? You know what the girls do? No, they smile and they put their hands like this.
Oh, like this?
Yeah, and just like, ah. So I'm going to type in here, Toyota BB with stupidly small wheels, and then maybe we'll get an idea of what it looks like. They're definitely smaller than this.
That's very low. It's not even going to get out of the parking here.
Right now, ours is a little bit lower than this, I would say. Like the wheels look the same, but I feel like our bumper's a little bit closer to the ground because it's like a bigger bumper, or like a longer bumper than that. Our wheels are smaller than these, for sure.
I don't think it'll be that low.
You may be wrong about that. It might be similar to this.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I think.
That's cool with over fenders.
Those aren't overhead fenders. That's just stock.
Really?
Yeah, it's just the way the light catches the subtle flare makes it look like it is. Yeah, so we got that. And we also got wheels for my minivan. And we got a badge for my minivan. I'm going to show you guys. Are you ready for this?
You've never seen a Type R minivan before.
You've never seen a badge that close to the camera before. Wah! And everybody is going to laugh until they notice that my wheels are also Type R wheels. And so it's a set. We have a set of Type R wheels and the Type R badge to go onto my Honda minivan. And it's going to be a Type R then. So that's going to be super rad. Okay, so let's take a look back at this sunny truck and see what we got here. So it's a 5-digit odometer, so you can never trust the mileage on one of these things. Purchased from user, aftermarket wheels, aftermarket seats. It's frustrating that there's no mention here of the 5-digit odometer, because when we translate these sheets, it's not always me translating them, and most people don't realize which cars have a 5-digit odometer and which ones don't. And so you couldn't, I guess what I'm saying is, unless it's me translating, you're kind of out of luck. Or maybe you've watched this stream and now you know that the Sunny trucks all have 5-digit odometers, and then you don't have to worry so much. So manual transmission, I like how they said MT instead of 4-speed, because it is a little bit weird. These comes with a 4-speed instead of a 5-speed. Grade R because it's been in an accident, aftermarket exhaust, and the seller specifically states this is an old car, so make sure that you see it in person for details. So basically it's something I would worry about when somebody says something like that. The Watanabe wheels are pretty sweet, but I do like them with a chin spoiler, and this one doesn't have it. And I think the short box looks a little bit better, but I could see how some people might think the long one looks better. Okay, the body looks relatively good, no rust on it, and rust is a huge problem with these. The wheels are scratched, various scratches and dents and repair marks on the body, paint-wise. It's been color changed to this red and white. They don't say what the original color is. What else we got? Windshield rock chip, interior scratched and wear and dirty and stained and ripped. Right front inner panel and core support both have accident damage that has been repaired. Oil leak. Likely this isn't the oil leak. I bet you that's just like water, like it rained the night before and there was still some water somewhere in here that dripped down. Usually an oil leak would be further back in the engine. Aftermarket suspension. The AC belt has been removed, so they can't test the AC. Has 4 tires and wheels, or 4 wheels. What?
I think they're in the back.
It says 4 tires and 4 wheels in the back, but I guess they're not mounted. Dashboard is cracked heavily. Seat saggy. Extra gauges, underside surface rust, scratched and dented. And the car has been washed. Car wash B and car wash B. This one here says exterior and interior have been washed. So there it is. Price-wise, Mike, what do you think?
I have, these usually sell for quite a lot because people want them so much.
When they don't have bad corrosion on them, they tend to sell for quite a bit more. But then,
this one has corrosion?
No, this one doesn't.
Oh, right.
And then when they have, like, most of them are in fairly poor condition with a lot of body damage, and then those ones sell for really cheap. So low grade ones will usually see somewhere around 200 to 300,000 yen. The good ones can be up to about 1,000,000 yen. So 200 to 300,000 yen is like 1,800 to 2,700 US dollars for a really cheap one, and then a really good one around 8,500 US dollars or so. And then there aren't that many that are in between, but the in between ones tend to have some pretty big damages as well. Cracked dashboard would be a pretty popular one, I would say. If Brendan Morris is talking about the VTEC of my Honda minivan, it does have VTEC, and it has more horsepower than almost any of the Type Rs. 250 horsepower. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But right now it's on 240 horsepower. If you put in high octane, you get 250 horsepower, and if you put in regular, you get 240. And my wife hates it when I drive fast, so I don't use that extra 10 horsepower. We save money.
I have some questions.
Okay, go ahead.
First one is, what's your favorite car? That was asked by.
I think that was asked in the previous 2 streams as well, so I should probably come
really?
up with a favorite car. I should just make up a car and see if people try to search it out. Like, my favorite car is a Toyota Lightning.
What about the ladder?
Not my favorite car. I used to own a lot of Niva and I enjoyed it very much, but it wasn't my favorite car. But I enjoyed it very much.
More, I guess a more informative question is, which is the best auction house for like reputation, quality, ratings, reliability?
Okay, so which auction? I suppose a lot of people want to know that. Like, how do the auctions compare to one another? And which one is the most reputable, I guess.
Yeah.
And so I guess everyone's experience is going to be different, but you do have to be really careful of trusting what people say when it comes to this question, because everybody has an opinion about this when they've been an exporter for a couple of months. And based on their experience, maybe they had a bad experience with one auction, and that has made them think that that auction is going to be continually bad. We've been doing this now since 2008, plus I've been kind of in the industry a little bit before that, before we started the business. So basically from about 2005 or so, I've been watching things, and I feel like it's hard to really say if there is bad or good auctions, because there's good and bad things about several of the auctions. We've had really bad experiences with some of the USS auctions, but we've also had good experiences with them. And from what I've seen, there really is no auctions that are something that is bad to the point where it seems like it's scammy or fishy. So I haven't really seen anything like that. I've noticed that sometimes at USS auctions they just don't care about older cars, but I also see that at other auctions too. It is important to mention though that the USS, this is the biggest chain in Japan, they bring in the best cars compared to other auctions. And then people who don't really care about the cars, they're not specialty cars like sports cars or modified cars or really nice clean older cars, because we mostly deal with older cars. Though the kind of so I don't care about this car kind of cars you can get for a lower price when you go for an auction like a CAA or a TAA or a JU auction. These are kind of the smaller auctions. Lower prices, in many cases not so premium of cars, but if it's something like a Legacy can be a really cool and interesting car, but to the Japanese populace here, they don't really care about that, so that seller might just send that one to one of the smaller auctions. If it was a modified one, they'd probably sell it to a USS auction or send it to a USS auction. USS auctions cost more, especially the ones that many people go view the cars in person. So that would be USS Nagoya. HAA Kobe is owned by USS, and so that one, USS Tokyo, USS Yokohama. I find USS Kyushu is a good one to buy cars from if you're looking for a 4x4, because it's very far away from the ports of export, so that means that most of the dealers aren't buying their cars from there, and they have more 4x4s there than in other areas of the country, and so higher supply, lower demand will lead to better prices, and can almost in every case pay for the extra cost of transport to go that far. You wouldn't want to purchase too many cars from up north. That's where we bought the Subaru from, up in Hokkaido, but cars up there tend to be a little bit rusty. Our Subaru is rusty. I mean, we got it for a really cheap price, but still, most people don't want to get a car that you have to do rust repair on. You can often get lucky prices at the smaller auctions more than you can at the bigger auctions, because there are fewer people viewing the cars in person. Mirai is a middle price auction. KMAA is a middle priced auction. I don't know, like, this kind of information is good to know, but because there's so much fluctuation from one car to another at the exact same auction, it's hard to leverage this information into better skill in picking out good cars. And so to a dealer who's been doing this for 5 years and can kind of piece together the pieces in their mind when they're doing this, they can probably get a little bit of marginal value on this. But I don't think that this is a make or break type of thing in the same way that people kind of assume that it would be, because I have a feeling like in auctions in other countries there might be a bigger difference in quality between the good auctions and the bad auctions. Boom, how's that for an answer, Mike?
That was very detailed. I like it.
Thank you. Thank you very much. This is Canker Sore Mouth coming at you with the answers. I got 2 of them. There's one here, and there's another. There's like 2 on this side, but I don't even know where they are because they only hurt when I move my mouth. It's very frustrating. I can't even like pinpoint them. They're somewhere in there.
We just know they're in there and they're annoying. I have a new car for you. JU Aichi 5059.
5059. Bill is asking if I'll get into trouble by having these pictures on the screen here, and the answer is I hope not. I'm not really showing that much information that ties that to like chassis number or sales prices or things like that, and I think that's what they're mostly worried about. Okay, so which one is this? JU Aichi?
Yeah, it's the top one, Altezza.
You know, we were just talking about the turbo Altezzas the other
Yeah.
day. Do you want to talk about that? Because this is new information for you. It should be fresh in your mind.
Oh yeah. The 280T.
Nobody can hear you,
Was it
Mike.
The Tom's
Come over here.
280T?
Sit on my lap.
Oh, Santa. What do you want me to talk about it?
Something fun and interesting.
I'm
We're,
not-
we're losing viewers.
I'm
Look at
not-
this. We're at 43. Quick. You gotta stop the bleeding.
Want to see me on my yellow jacket?
It's not yellow.
It,
Retard.
I'm not an retard.
Let's see how many people are like, this is not politically correct, Derek.
This-
I'm quitting.
Oh, this one's got really low mileage. I didn't see that.
No, I'm talking about the Tom's one.
Oh yeah, this one isn't it.
This one isn't it, but
Cool fact: the Tom's 280T not Supra, Altezza. There were only 100 made, and they all sold in the first day. And there's one for sale at the moment for what is it?
2.4 million.
2.4 million, yeah, on Goonet.
So that's like $22,000 for a turbo Altezza.
We had a customer asking about a turbo, and then we looked into the factory. Oh, it's not really factory, I guess, but factory
It is.
backed.
You bought it directly from the Toyota factory.
Yeah, and Tom's.
Only 100 made. CLP says, too bad those Tom's turbo kits weren't available aftermarket. So I don't know about that because I've never really looked into it. If that's what you say, then you might be right about that. But generally speaking, the business model for those types of cars, they'll make like 100 or 200 or 500 of a specialty model, like a turbocharged version, but then also make up money by selling any parts like bumpers or side skirts or like seats or big brakes or turbo kits or whatever it is that makes up the car to the general population, because if you're just selling 100 cars, you can't make any money off of that. The research and development is more than what you would make in profits or marginally extra profits compared to the standard model. Brendan, we can't clean the office. We are too busy making customers happy. If you want to not receive any replies ever, we can have a bright and clean office. Love the orange, looks like Tom's jacket. Someone loves your jacket, man. Obviously not enough love because there's no super chat coming in for the orange jacket.
I'm willing to sell this jacket. We should do an auction.
Yeah.
I won't wash it even, so you can have mine.
Okay, well, let's have a look at this Altezza because we got it up on the screen. Altezzas are good cars. They're not quite good enough for me to absolutely love, but I do love the idea. I just wish that they were a little bit better in a couple of places, but they're still cool. It's a rear-wheel drive car. It has a 6-speed manual in it. It's relatively lightweight for what it is. It's a bit smaller than a BMW 3 Series. In fact, this was Lexus's competition to the 3 Series. And it was probably the first Lexus that wasn't super amazing. It was really good, but the Lexuses beforehand were way, way, way ahead of the game with most things. And the reason was, when you're branding a new company, you need to really stand out compared to the competition, and that's very expensive to do. And so with the LS and the SC and the GS, those cars probably, I mean, they sold in huge numbers, so maybe Toyota made a profit on it, but they weren't really needing to make a profit. They needed to make a point. And then they can use the R&D from those cars for their continuing cars, which they did, like the UCF 11, UCF 22, UCF 30, like the first, second, third generation of Excelsior all used a very similar chassis and engine and all of that. And so that would have paid off through the multiple generations. The Altezza is a little bit weird though because it's basically just a one car, and then they didn't do anything else with that chassis as far as I know, did they? It's on a different chassis from all of the other Lexus cars, but it still uses the 2J engine. In this case, the 3S engine as well, and the 1G engine was also used in it. I think only those 3 engines, and the Japanese one got the better one because the 3S engine, the 4-cylinder, is actually better than the 2J. I know it sounds strange, but it is, because it's a non-turbo 2J, and if you're going to put that much metal into the engine room, then you're compromising the way that the car handles for not that much power. If this came with the turbo engine, I'm sure that this would be a darling car for everybody, but it never came with a turbo 2J in it. That would be insane. I know some people have done the swap, but if they came out with that stock, I bet you people wouldn't be loving the 4th gen Supra as much as they do now. This would be up there for sure. So low mileage, comes with a 6-speed manual and the 200 horsepower engine. Discharge headlights, I guess that's aftermarket. Condition looks great. Look at this, body is perfect. Basically just wheels are scratched and small scratches and dents on the car and a little bit of wear on the inside, but very low mileage, so that should be very low wear. It's a 2003, so it's legal for Canada. It comes in black. It looks bad with the rain on there, but it's stock. It has the less aggressive front bumper compared to the more aggressive front bumper. Let's see if we can get a picture of that. Oh, you type in RS200 and you get Fords only.
I'd like to point out that Brandon Morris, I like his comment. I put a Type R badge on my fridge and now it illegally street races.
That's rad. Brendan, I got a question for you. Are you the same Brendan that has been like on the JDM VIP website and Import Aero website like way back in the day? Because I kind of think that it is, but I'm not sure. Like bought the Impreza off of Rodrigo. Let me know. Because that Impreza was my first car that we exported. If it is you. And speaking of the RS200 Ford, one of these drove by the other day, right?
Oh yeah.
The one you were talking about? Yeah, just
Yeah,
like,
that was cool.
how many days ago? Like a week ago or so. And
Friday.
I've
Before we
literally
left.
never seen one on the road because they're that rare and that expensive.
You have now.
Brendan, don't do that to me. Possibly. Oh, I've got the answer for you.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna give it to you.
Jiggy.
I thought you were better than that, Brandon. He says my connection is laggy, so maybe he's saying possibly to somebody else. Okay, anyways, so the Altezza with the more aggressive front end is this one here. Comes with this stock carbon insert here that makes it look a little bit more like a fish, I guess.
Was that an option on the RS200s?
Yeah.
Oh.
And then the other ones, this one here, is that stock? I don't know. But this is the one that this car has. I don't know. I think these cars look good with body kits, but I think, oh, unfortunate for that person. I think the styling is quite difficult to get an appropriate body kit for it, because the back end is really high and chunky. The front end is long, but it tapers a lot as it goes down. And then the bumper is very small compared to the front end of a car, which is kind of round-ish on the top section, but then square-ish on the bumper. I think it's the more I look at aftermarket kits for this car, the more I came to realize that it's really hard to get a front bumper that can look good on it. Let's see what we can find here. Like the original one, I think that looks fine. And I think this looks fine. But I kind of prefer this look. This is an aftermarket kit that is done properly. Like they cared about the lines of the car when they were building the kit. And it doesn't look overly aggressive or silly. That's good. This one's just a lip kit. I guess that's all right. It extends the front section, makes it look a little bit less, you know, pinched in at the front. Maybe that's good. I think this one's the charge speed kit. I don't know. This is probably boring content. Let's go back to the car. So price-wise for this, being black usually will increase the price for a car like this. Having the really low mileage is going to increase the price for sure. An auction grade 4.5. And JU Aichi is generally speaking one of the less expensive auctions, so you might be able to get a good deal on it. Starting price is 180,000 yen, and I suspect we'd probably see this one sell for about 750,000 yen, which for a rear-wheel drive car is pretty good. Some people love these cars, but they don't tend to be loved by the populaces that buy the more expensive cars. They tend to be a cheap performance car, a la what the 8.6 was several years beforehand, like 15 years ago. It's kind of filling the same market position as the 8.6 before the 8.6 price exploded and became crazy. Okay. You want to do a question? You want to do a another car?
Yeah, we can do question. Someone was asking, do they do Carfax reports in Japan? So I thought it might be.
There are no Carfax reports in Japan. There are companies that can look up the auction history up to like 7 years prior, and that's about as good as you could do. And then the Japanese registration certificate also shows you the mileage every time the inspection is done, and in Japan every 2 years you need to get the car re-inspected, and then it has to pass the safety inspection before you can have it on the road. And for most regular people's cars, they would take their car to the dealer or they take the car to a shop, and this is an opportunity for the shop to kind of replace anything that is even remotely worn out, and the general population doesn't really question that. So the dealer says, oh, you need to change your windshield wiper blades and your the door mirror heater, and you need to change the brake pads, and you need to change the shocks, and may not even need to change those things, but they get changed. And typically shops in Japan don't use aftermarket parts, they'll use OEM parts for everything. And car ownership is a lot more expensive here than it is in other countries. This is part of the reason why. And so because of this, you'll get cars that get very well maintained throughout their life. The thing is, though, not all cars go to shops that are like that, and not all owners of cars are that dumb about their cars. And typically with sports car owners, you get like owners that probably know enough not to get scammed like that, and so there would be a lower level of maintenance. Not a problematic level, but you don't get that same everything in the car has been replaced kind of thing that you would get with you know, if you bought an LS 400 or something like that. A 1UZ Altezza would be really sweet. That engine can be made to sound really amazing with proper exhaust.
Also, there's a couple of people saying that they've contacted us and are waiting to hear back.
Yeah, at the moment, the longest somebody sent in an email and hasn't received a reply back is February 8th. And right now it's February 19th, and so that's 11 days out. Hopefully everybody's reading our website where it says it's currently taking 1 to 2 weeks to get back to people. And some people reference that in their emails, but not everybody reads. not everybody reads, right, Mike? And so, yes, sorry about that.
We're sorry.
Inquiries just take a long time to do, and we get so many of them, and then so many don't turn into purchases. But if we don't give enough information, then it becomes a bigger problem later on, and this is something that we're kind of running into. If we just sign up the customer right away, like here's the information, you can sign up now, you can start purchasing now, that means that we get a higher percentage of customers that take longer time for us per sale. And then if we have those customers, we don't have enough time to get the good customers. So it kind of is a bit of a balancing act. And for that reason, we want to take more time to kind of pre-screen our customers, make sure that they're on the same page with us, and make sure that our business is suitable for the way they want to purchase a car. Because what we do is auction purchasing like this directly through the auction. We do free translations of the sheets, and we'll do a lot of communication back and forth with the customer, more so than most exporters. But that can be damaging for us from a business model standpoint. And for that reason, we would prefer to have customers that understand how this works between the two parties and can be reasonable with their expectations, if that makes sense. I'm just going to go through a couple of comments and see what people are saying here.
Yep.
How long from purchase to ship to the US? 5 to 8 weeks, generally. Depends on vessel schedules and which port that you're going to. What's the Carney sent in one? Haven't seen one of these in a while, but didn't say what type of car that it was.
I'll have a look. 9230.
What's the worst car you've sold? A lot of people who want to get a sports car like a Skyline will, but don't have enough money. They'll say, oh, I want to get one in really bad condition because I want to get a Skyline, and those cars have been the worst ones.
Oh, Connie sent in an absolute gem. You can see it, can't you?
No, I can't. I didn't take a look. Can I see?
Sure.
Haven't seen one of these in a while. That's funny.
Bill Courtney actually sent that in as well. So popular.
Maybe the worst car that we've sold have been Skylines or Silvias because of that. People who race cars generally don't really care about what the car looks like or what the interior is like, and so a lot of them have been pretty weak. Virtual tire kicking, says Mike Furness. That's Mike 2, by the way. Furnace Prime is Mike 2. So he's in the chat here. Sorry, Mike. Over the weekend, I didn't have time to get back to you about that video edit, but I intend to do that today if I've got time. But I also have like 10 cars to report on, so I don't know.
Oh, I got a super sweet car that you can put up on there.
Okay, let's put that up.
30329 JUIG.
Is this the one that I just looked at?
Oh, really?
Is it the BMW?
Yeah,
This is a super sweet car
I think so.
because it's the
'Cause I like
short
the
version.
wheels. I like the wheels. I'm actually not a fan of the short version, but I like the wheels.
We didn't get the short version in Canada of this one or the E46 version, which both came in a short version. It's kind of a shame because I think they're quirky and weird. I don't particularly like the looks of them, but I like the fact that they exist. And it's kind of cool if you like rear wheel drive and kind of like a hatchback. And plus, if you wanted it for a race car, you could probably like cut off. No trunk means less weight, right?
I was just gonna say, do you reckon they would look cool with the rear bumper like the 180SX?
Like take off the rear bumper?
Yeah.
No, I think that I know what you're talking about. Like when you take off the rear bumper, it kind of gives it that like 1940s race car look.
Yeah. With a huge
I think this
spoiler
one would
attached
just
there.
look like a weird. A huge spoiler would probably look good on one of these. Actually, yeah, take the rear bumper off and then put that,
Yeah.
like the big arms that attach
Yeah.
right to where the bumper was supposed to go, kind of like the Rocket Bunny. What's that kit called? S13 Rocket Bunny rear spoiler. Not that one, the bigger one. Maybe it's not. This is the one I'm talking about. Right?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Maybe not quite that large.
Nah, take the exact same spoiler and then put it onto the BMW.
Yeah.
M Sport. Huge spoiler. Unfortunately, if you put that spoiler on, you wouldn't be able to open the trunk. But is that the same case on the S13? It is. Right? Or maybe there are pins in the bottom that you can take out when you need to open your trunk? That's a good question.
Oh yeah.
This one is only attached to the back frame, but I don't feel like, I think that this is, it's too long that you would have problems with the leverage of it. I think that you would need to have some sort of attachment here to give it more stability. Otherwise, it wouldn't be useful.
Can't see that anyone's done it. So, you heard it here first. When that kit becomes popular.
And these sell for pennies too. Nobody really wants them anymore. Almost all of them that I've seen have had automatic transmissions in them. They usually come with a bad engine, the 1.9 liter, which wasn't used for very long in BMW's history, and then it's a 4-cylinder, and most people who want a BMW love that. They make such lovely 6-cylinders that the 4-cylinder is just like, yeah, not that good. Same problem with the Z3, and then they got rid of it after I think 2 years. I think you can get this with an inline 6-cylinder, but I don't know the car that well. And it looks like it's not in the greatest of conditions. So battery is dead, seat wear, wheels scratched, uh, front front hood damper is saggy, rear hatch damper is saggy, headliner is saggy. U3 on the hood, that would be a big deal for me because I don't want to replace the hood. And then scratches on the front, probably on this lip. Probably it's bottomed out and then it has cracked the paint on it. I bet it's a carbon fiber unit. Yeah, so let's see, what are we starting at here? Starting at 9,000 yen, I don't know, 20,000 yen maybe. 20,000 yen.
20,000 yen?
Mhm.
200?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Well, less than
The
that,
wheels are
$180. Yeah, the wheels are BBS LM wheels, but I couldn't see somebody buying this for the purpose of getting those wheels because they don't know the condition of them that well, and then they're only 17s, and you can buy a set of those wheels for like $600.
For the BB.
If they're in gold and yellow doesn't go that well together, so I don't think so.
No, yeah.
I think that those are a good-looking wheel, but I don't think that. Well, you know, I've always said that LM suits every car. Maybe they would look good on a BB.
Maybe they're the best looking on the BB.
XB with BBS LM wheels. Let's see what we're doing here. That's the newer one. That's just not a good picture. This isn't an LM wheel. Oh yeah, it is. Oh, it's just deeper than I thought. Before it had loaded, it looked like it was the RG wheel. I don't know. What do you think?
I don't like that one. I prefer the ones you got. I don't think that suits the BB.
How dare you? The LM suits every car.
How dare.
This is just he's wearing a tie
I don't like the.
instead of wearing no shirt and a tank or maybe a tank top.
Just the insides need to be different color, I think. Like that looks okay. I like that.
Because it's so low and small,
No.
or because of you like the design. I did see these wheels and thought about them, but then I was like, I don't know. I the same thing, the yellow and the gold. Anyways, back to what we're doing. You want to show that GTO?
Sure. 9230 JU Hokkaido.
9230. Brendan said that there's vodka in the bottle, and my answer to that is, Brendan, I'm not talking to you because you're not telling me if you exist in my mind in real or in fake.
Oh,
mind.
he did say his connection's lagging. He didn't hear the question.
Oh, really? Or maybe he's just saying that.
Oh, he's leading you on. He's playing hard to get.
Yeah, Brendan, in case you didn't miss or didn't hear that, like, I'm wondering if you are the same Brendan that was on the JDM VIP website like 10 years ago, and then you owned an Impreza, and then you owned a Mark IV Supra. Because that Impreza was the first car that we ever exported. Well, not the first one. The first one we exported to a real customer instead of a friend. Oh, I saw Brendan's name and I was like, yes, I finally get an answer. But then he said, makes me slow. Yeah, so we got a GTO here. This is a bit of a special car in the office because Mike owned one. Mike D.
How tragic.
Well, it's funny because, you know, when someone says, I owned a GTO, it's a very easy car for people to make fun of because it was a car that people just didn't latch on to in the same way that they did with most Japanese sports cars of the 90s. And so if you think about Mitsubishi and sports cars, people think the Lancer immediately. And then if you think of other 90s sports cars, this is maybe, you know, 15th on the list. And there are so many other cars that get more attention, but it's a little bit weird because it is a fairly high performing car, 280 horsepower twin turbo 4-wheel drive, It was a big deal in the PlayStation generation with Gran Turismo 1 and 2 because it was a fairly good car in that game and people knew about it from that. Also known as the 3000 GT in America, but people just don't like it, and it's I guess almost meme quality in people's hatred for the car because it's not really founded. It's just kind of the same thing as pineapples on pizza. Like, a lot of people know that it's funny to joke about pineapples on pizza, so they talk about it all the time, whether they like pineapples or not. And so it's become something of a meme car of the 90s. I don't think it's a terribly bad car. We don't sell them very often, but I don't have experience driving one. I think that they were a little on the heavy side, a little on the overcomplicated side, and I think that if you really liked Mitsubishi, you were probably better off with the Lancer because it's probably a better car.
And this one's in Mitsubishi red, which is
Easy to
may as well
fade.
just be pink.
Someone says the FTO is better than the GTO.
I disagree heavily.
I'm interested to know why people think that. I think the FTO is a really cool car, and in my mind, I like the FTO better even if it's not a better car, if that makes sense. I think it's neat. Like a 2-liter V6 is really cool. And then front wheel drive car that kind of looks like it should be 4-wheel drive with the Evo engine in it. And the fact that they didn't use the Evo engine and were like, we're going to make this high revving spend all this money to make something that doesn't turn out to be what the consumers wanted.
Yeah.
Right? It's just weird. And then it has really odd looks too.
Oh no, everyone's saying they look better. Oh no, just 2 people.
I can see why people would think that this looks better.
What? They do look like when one's following you, it looks like a Supra from the headlights.
We didn't get these in Canada, and I knew about them from Gran Turismo 2. But I think I always liked the bumps over here because I love that design cue.
That's the version out, I think.
I don't like this character line. I think that was a big mistake. And it pinches in the top of the trunk, so the spoilers usually look stupid. This one looks good because they fixed it, but the earlier ones, I'm not down with the spoiler. From the front, it looks okay, but from the back, it's like, that spoiler is only 2 feet across. I mean, that's not a good picture, but you can kind of see. This is the appropriate angle for the car, because you get the nice reflection off of the bulge in the wheels. Kind of looks like a fish, eh?
Yeah.
But the GTO is a better performing car and has more of the classic sports car proportions. It's lower and wider, has the 4-wheel drive, more powerful. I don't know if Mitsubishi knew how to make a good front-wheel drive car. I've never tried driving one, but what is it, 180 horsepower out of the 1.8 or something, or 180 horsepower out of the 2-liter?
I think so. And then the special versions were maybe just 200-ish?
With variable valve timing,
Yeah.
Mivec engine. Ooh, GTNet. Ooh, it's the McDonald's of car dealers for sports cars. There you go. That's what we need. We need that the front bumper, the veil side looking one. That looks terrible on that car.
Yeah.
Ah.
The Pit Road M GTO looks really cool. I'm gonna convert everyone to GTOs. I'd like to see a...
So this is the one that looks really cool?
Yeah.
It kind of looks like the top secret Supra.
Yeah. But completely different company. Oh, the white and black one is really good too. Ooh,
That's kind of cool.
Ooh-wee.
The little bracket for the coil packs over here. Is that the traditional location of the coil packs in this?
No. That's heavily modified. It's I think their race car or
It's
shop car.
heavily modified.
The black and white
Look,
one looks
the
cool.
air intake looks like a butt.
Yeah.
I love that. I want to get a butt air intake for the BB and then stick it on the outside of the hood. You know, like performance cars have the air intake. I
Yeah.
mean, they probably don't. But like, I'm thinking like
I know what you mean. Like the hood
like
cut
the
out.
Lotus. The air intake, in order to get performance air intakes, they need to cut a hole in the side. Where's an example of that?
Oh, have it sticking out the side, did you say?
Oh, it doesn't matter where it's sticking out.
Just as long as you can see the butt.
Here, this person has no air filters and nothing on top.
Oh.
I guess he likes rebuilding engines as a hobby.
Yeah.
Here's what I'm talking about. It's on this one. You see, they need to put the bigger air filters, so you cut a hole out,
Yeah.
so the filter is exposed completely to the elements.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need that on the BB.
Did
And
they
a
do
butt.
that?
A butt hanging out.
A little butt poking out.
But where on the BB would that go? Right above? Actually, which side is the air intake on? I can't remember. That kind of fabrication is way beyond my ability, though. And so it would look really funny.
Yeah.
I also thought about this kind of wheel, like the extended steel wheel style. I do like it, but I don't think it would be good on the BB. The BB is hard to pick appropriate wheels for because it's so flat, and even if you push the wheels all the way out like it is on here, it doesn't look that aggressive in the way that most cars do, because usually you'll get like the side of the car coming down at an angle, and then the wheel is there, so it looks like the wheel is pushed out further. This just looks like a toaster.
Have you been looking at exhausts for the BB? Because I think we're gonna need one.
Why do we need one, Mike?
Well, we already scraped coming out of this one with the city wheels. I don't know.
Somebody
I'm
said
hoping
that
for the best.
the BB has 0 bumpers compared to the XB. Is that true? Is this an XB or a BB? Well, this is an XB. Isn't that the same bumper?
It looks like the same one.
That's definitely like the one that we have,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, I think so.
Does that come out more? It might actually. Yeah, I think that bumper comes out further. This one's a BB. Yeah, ours doesn't do that. And that's the stock bumper on there, I think.
Oh. That huge step.
It would be convenient, though, if you ever needed to get on top. It's like a staircase.
You just walk.
Oh, I kind of wish that this is the next generation BB here in Japan, but the XB changed into like
Oh no.
a different car altogether.
Shots fired from Flavian.
What did he say? I think 37-year-old people shouldn't be allowed to drive those cars. Yeah, well, you haven't seen the car, Flavian.
Oh, I like that bumper that you just.
And I'm not 37 yet, so I still have a few more months. There you go. There's the BBS wheels. And this one even has a Band-Aid on the front like ours does.
Yeah.
I wonder about people who only like sports cars, though. Because, like, I don't know. It seems to me like when I was first getting into cars, it was always about the fastest cars, the sports cars, the ones that the 7-year-olds like. And then the more I got into cars, the more I went away from the traditional. And I'm not saying it's a good thing or a bad thing. It's kind of like I'm becoming more fringe in my tastes.
Natural progression.
I don't know. I think it's common for people to do that. But I wouldn't say that it's necessarily a good thing. That's why every time I see a CRX, I'm like, wow, CRX! And like a Skyline drives by, and I'm like, yeah, just another Skyline.
Yeah.
That's not completely true. Skylines are getting to the point where they're hard to see on the road now. So if I see one on the road, I always point it out. My family's getting tired of me. The XA. What was that called in Japan? Shoot. I could look it up. I don't know the answer to this. But I think that they sold
Toyota
it.
Ist.
Ist?
Ist.
Okay, there you go. It's funny, you put in the car name and, oh, there we go. Woo! It's basically the same car as the BB, but looks different. I think the BB is better.
The BB looks. They're on the same chassis.
Yeah.
The BB looks way better.
No, the open deck version of the BB looks way better. This looks good.
Oh, I love how they're all in yellow. So
They didn't sell them in too many colors. I think yellow, blue, and silver. Maybe black, as you can see here.
Look at those suicide doors. They should be in rap videos. All BBs should be in rap videos. Or
Look
every
at
rap
this.
video should have a BB.
Imagine how nice it would be if our tailgate could actually go down.
That would be good.
It used to, and then one day it was just like, no, thank you. I'm not helping you out here.
I can't do that.
I used to love sitting on here while checking paperwork or emailing or something. I think the original BB is a decent looking car, economical, lots of space in it. It's cool. I think that the open deck is a good amount cooler, because pickup truck back end, suicide door.
Yeah.
And I really like these big bars on the back, kind of like, these are useless, but you know, we did it for style. And I like it when car companies make a custom car show type car, and then there's enough people that want to buy it that they decide to actually sell it to the public. Well, we're going to have to call it quits here. This is the end of our 1 hour stream. Hope everyone enjoyed me talking about my love for my own car for half of the show. Wow, look at these seats. They're so much cleaner than ours.
Oh, whoa, that's what they're supposed to be like?
Yeah. They're supposed to be yellow?
Not a weird shade of brown?
Oh, I'm glad ours doesn't look like this. That's too much.
Oh, that's just enough.
No, that's too much. Okay. End of the show. Goodbye, everybody. See you next week.